Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Matt, and first off, I just want to apologize for yesterday's video. I'll admit that I was a little wrong, or a lot wrong, in a lot of the info I used in that video, but everybody has a shitty video or two, or 20 like me. I'm glad people are there to catch the misinformation in my videos. I appreciate the people who correct those mistakes, but it's taught me to, take the time out and look over what I'm saying before I put it out there, before making myself look like a fucking idiot. But today I want to talk about suppressors. Suppressors are one of my favorite attachments in video games. The idea of a suppressor is really cool, and I enjoy both the look of them and the sound they create when you fire your weapon. I used a suppressor almost always in Battlefield 3, but not a whole lot in Battlefield 4, and I don't really know the reason why that is. I guess Battlefield 4 just felt so much different than Battlefield 3, and I didn't really like the suppressors in Battlefield 4. In Battlefield 1, we see them in the single player exclusively as part of, the stealth parts of the game. In the background is one of those missions, and is one of my favorite parts of the short single player. If you still haven't gotten a chance to play through the single player, I suggest you do. It's really short, but it's a whole lot of fun. But this is from part 3 of the first chapter of the game called Mud and Blood. In this part, you need to get some spark plugs, which are conveniently placed in the town below where your tank is broken down, occupied by the Germans. So there's lots of windmills and cover under the really bright Dyson moon that they like to put in their games for some reason, as if that's what nighttime looks like in most places. The cool thing about using suppressed weapons in this mission is that it really adds to the effect of stealth, and there's a few suppressed weapons placed around the map. There's an M1903, for example, which is what you mostly use, and then there's a couple pistols placed around the map that all have suppressors on them. The only thing is that you can't really get ammo for them, so if you run out of ammo, unless you play your cards really good, you're eventually going to run out of ammo, and then you're going to have to use not stealthy weapons. But if you play it right, you can get through this entire mission pretty stealthy. The surprising thing for me was that I didn't really even realize or know that suppressors existed back in the early 1900s. After reading into it a bit more, it was kind of cool to find out how the first commercial sound suppressor was even created. It was created by a Maxim, not the magazine, but if you're familiar with that name, it's probably because of the Maxim machine gun, which is a machine gun that you see in Battlefield 1. It's the stationary machine guns placed outside of windows, on ambience, for example. Although the suppressor wasn't created by the creator of the machine gun, it was created by his son, Huron Percy Maxim. In World War I, the uses of the Maxim silencer was very rare. The only thing I could really find on suppressors used in this time, military-wise, was the supposed usage of 2 Springfield suppressed rifles used to capture Pancho Villa. There is some evidence that suppressed rifles were used in World War I, but people speculate because much of World War I was trench warfare. They became more popular in World War II when, espionage came into the mix and spy stuff and, stealth missions became a thing. And, the range at which people fought in World War II was a little bit more spaced out than World War I. It would be cool to see suppressors brought into the multiplayer in some way, although, the uses for them wouldn't really make any sense because you already don't show up on the minimap for enemies when you fire your weapon. I think the addition of suppressors to bolt action rifles for the scout class would be a nice addition. I'm not talking fully automatic weapons in the game should have suppressors or pistols, but more for aesthetics for the scout class and the actual sound reduction of the weapon for players who enjoy playing, sneaky deaky like. The interesting thing about the Maxim silencer is that it's crazy expensive to manufacture and would interfere with the action of most weapons nowadays, as it would heat up far too quickly. And this is the reason it's perfect for bolt action rifles, because there isn't as much action compared to a semi-auto rifle or a pistol, for example. In Battlefield 1, we see 3 suppressed pistols exclusively in the single player, the M1911, and then 2 versions of the Mauser C96. Unfortunately, this is DICE's creative freedom at hand, as a suppressed pistol in this time was pretty much impossible without affecting the performance of the weapon or the action of the weapon, but it's still cool to see. Let me know what you guys think about seeing suppressors added into the multiplayer down below. Hopefully the information and pronunciation in this video wasn't too fucking terrible for you guys, and I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Leave a like or dislike, either way, it's an extra effort and I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, thanks again for the last fucking time, guys. I'll see you later.
Findet den Hund und tötet ihn! Wir müssen ihn finden!
Once upon a time not long ago, when people wore pajamas and lived life slow, where laws were stern and justice stood, and people were behaving like they ought to good.